Nick Knight's Roses open a little chat about what looks real or not, and the next piece is about what feels real or not. It's one of the most important paintings in history, and it's this, Impression Sunrise by Claude Monet. Now, give me a moment to explain why this is a firecracker of a picture. Try and imagine Paris in the late 1800s, the same time as the Wild West, but people are slugging absinthe, not bourbon, and drawing their paintbrushes, not their guns. I mean, God knows Moulin Rouge, the movie, has its flaws, but it's pretty good at capturing the wildness and the possibility that gripped Paris at that time. It really was the capital of the world, bohemian, modern, forward-thinking, and just alive with possibility. And it began with this painting. Now, at the time, the big art show was held at Le Salon, and exhibiting there meant you'd arrive, but it was established, it was traditional. And the young artists of the time just couldn't understand this desire to look back when so much was moving and changing in front of their eyes. So they set up their own rival exhibition. The exposition on Boulevard du Capucine showcased 165 paintings from unknown artists who just went on to change the world, like Cézanne, Degas, Pissarro. Trust me, if you don't know their names, you will know their work. It's madness then that the month-long exhibition was a flop. One critic furiously honed in on this painting. To him, it was a sketch, and it was ludicrous to show it at an exhibition. But in fact, Monet wasn't even going to hang it. It was used to fill wall space when they dressed everything in, and it still felt a bit empty. The painting that took him 45 minutes to create was a sketch. He did it overlooking the harbour in his hometown of Le Havre. It's dots and dabs and a blob of sun like dropped scrambled egg. And it's the colour that's doing the work here. It's the same brightness across the sky. Look how it all disappears when it's in black and white. Isn't that wonderful? Compare it to a harbour painting that the stuffy salon might have liked. This one's from Turner 40 years before. Now, yeah, this is very, very good. But don't think Monet wasn't capable of painting like this. Look at these. But if we're going to call Turner's a photograph, then Monet's is more like a memory. And paradoxically, in that sense, it's more real. Because I feel I can fall into this painting. I recognise that haze. I know the industry behind it. I can stand there. I can experience the movement of the sea. I can hear the wind, feel the sun on me. And that's why it's called Impression Sunrise. It's an impression of a sunrise, not a true depiction of one. There's just enough there to give us the sense, and then we fill in the rest with our own experiences. And the use of the word impression was what was picked up on and what gave name to the group of artists from different styles and disciplines who united at this time to genuinely move art forward, the Impressionists. Now, I'd be amazed if they don't pop up time and again in this project because they're prolific and dazzling in their abilities. Monet was something else, and he's part of our culture, but don't let all those tea towels and biscuit tins make you think that he wasn't a revolutionary. You know, he painted the birth of modern Paris. He's fascinated by their new train stations. He's using all the tools at his disposal. That's tubes of oil paint, collapsible easels. You get out there and you paint in the open air. Because you've got to remember, you couldn't do that before. You were shackled to your studio. You couldn't travel out. You couldn't take a train out to the country for a day like he used to. And he was so taken with it that he'd go out with more than one canvas, line them up and chase the sun, painting on different ones, like he's playing a drum set across them. And this carried on right through his career, even when war came and took, well, frankly, a dump on the optimism and possibility that the Impressionists captured so wonderfully. Because even from his garden, which was 100 miles from the front, Monet could still capture tranquility, light, nature. He did find fame and recognition in his lifetime. In fact, he lived to a good old age, 86. But it meant he outlived 2 wives, one of his sons, and he developed cataracts in both his eyes. He had to have surgery to correct these and was able to see certain ultraviolet wavelengths of light that you or I can't. So he's like an art superhero. Impressionists assemble. His final gift to the world was in fact to France itself. It's a cycle of 8 huge panels, a symbol of peace at the end of the First World War. They still hang in the Musée de l'Orangerie, displayed in the rules that he set out just before his death. A recurring theme throughout all of these, people are idiots, so of course they didn't like them. Ironically, for the man who tore down fuddy-duddy conventions with his paintings were now seen as old hat. People wanted cubism and futurism and surrealism. But then in the 1950s, someone wrote an article calling these rooms the Sistine Chapel of Impressionism. Oh yes, thought everyone. They fell in love with them again, and quite rightly so. So these paintings are where it all ended, but Impression Sunrise is where it all began.